Hi, so my name is Tony Broersma. I'm our EVP of Operations here at Fastenal. I've been asked today to talk about or to speak about the topic of transforming relationships into results. What I want to get into a little bit, obviously, I'm from the operations and supply chain side of the business, so you'll hear a heavy lean in that direction. Before I do, what I want to make sure that I emphasize is that your role in our partnership is that you make great products. And we want you, if you do one thing great with Fastenal, is we want you out there selling side by side with our sellers, selling your great products and product solutions side by side with our great supply chain solutions. When you're doing that and you're doing that at a great level as a partner, the next opportunities beyond that are around enhancing that supply chain between us and you and our shared customers. And so as we go beyond that and start to talk about supply chain, deeper partnerships on the supply chain side, we'll circle back to a topic that I'm sure you've all heard of, and that's PO automation. You should all be very active participants in that. But we're going to talk about taking it to the next level today and what that means and why. So PO automation, really, it's historically from the beginning was about supply chain visibility. And so that was the aggregate of some very simple asks. What is your EDI 846? So give us your inventory feed. You don't have to tell us all the inventory you have. We just need to see what you have in stock and the amount of inventory that you have that is available to us right now on any given day. We need a service level agreement. So how quickly will you pick, pack, and have ready for shipment that product if a branch places a PO today? And then that married up with good, clean costing puts us in a position where if a branch needs to know price availability, they don't need to pick up a phone and call you. You don't need to be on the other end of that phone call or an email in other cases. It saves a lot of non-value added time, creating visibility to our supply chain. When we marry that up with our own internal capabilities from a trucking standpoint, our will call dates, our will call location, our trucking network velocity, as well as deliveries to our branch, and then handing that product to our customer, we're able to look in the system. And now our branches in their point of sale can actually see your inventory for those of you that are participating, which is the majority of the people on this call. And for those that aren't are working with you, you'll be there soon. Our branches are able to go in and see your inventory and stock check, and it actually tells them today's Monday, this will be on your dock Thursday, ready to hand to the customer. You can imagine how that is being built out to be customer facing very soon as well. Not your inventory, but the velocity, the fulfillment. Today is Monday, and we can tell a customer, you will have it on Thursday. And we can tell them that even though it's on your shelf in your facility, we don't tell them where it is, but we tell them when they'll have it. And so that's great intelligence to our customer. The next question though is Thursday soon enough? You know, this is going to go from visibility now to a velocity conversation. Why is that important? A couple of places where that's really, really important is in web fulfillment, where we're facing that information to a customer, where there isn't an analog human intermediary answering those questions. So we need to be able to provide that information. Today's Monday. When will you have it if you order it online right now? It's an obvious case that anybody who shops online anywhere does. Product rationalization is a huge one. So what's the best product? I'm selling something, I'm a branch and I'm selling something that I'm buying from a local supplier. We have no corporate relationship with them. They're not a partner. And I'd rather sell something from my partner suppliers. What's the best product? Well, it's not just the best product, but what's the best product based on when I, as the customer, need it. And so that's important. It's an important factor in product rationalization. And you're going to see that. I'm going to do a quick demo and show you some examples of how our AI assisted sourcing program is working. But if you think about how that marries up with your stocking, your velocity, and our will call frequency, or with the expansion of stocking within our own distribution centers of your product mix, that creates the velocity and the relevancy in the AI assisted sourcing program. So we'll do a quick demo here. So this opens up in another page. Blow this up so you can see it. And basically what Jeremiah is doing here is he's going to do a quick demo to show the first iteration of this, of what, and you saw a picture flash up. So that's a photo of a crib crawl. So it's shelving with a bunch of product on it. We load that into this tool. It's able to do search by photo, and it produces a list of search results. And so you can see in this Excel file that's coming back, blocks of similar results, every 5 of those. And basically you can think about those are the 5 most likely answers to what it is that picture or that position on that shelf actually was, from a product standpoint. Another way we're able to search with this thing is to drop a handwritten note in there. So here's a handwritten note. Loads a photo in, it's able to do the same thing. So it comes back with multiple search possibilities related to each one of those lines of handwritten notes. And then the last one that he's going to do is very similar, but again, it's a PDF. And so it's going to come back with it's a toolbox list and search results for all of the lines of product on that PDF list. This is just a search function. So it's cool. It's some easier ways to do some mass searches, but really it's just that we're trying to find the thing that's the most similar to what it is that we're searching for. You can also feed this from a search standpoint by going out and or going into the program and typing a long description or a supplier name and part number, or many other ways of searching for products that you can imagine. That being said, that's not the cool part. The cool part, okay, I've searched. So we'll get into a deeper demo here. So similar, here's another example where we're searching for an actual description, like I mentioned before. And it's going to come back now when we're doing an individual search, much more user-friendly. We've got a carousel here. Here are some ideas of what we think it is that you're looking for. And we give a lot of information about these parts too. We got the Fastenal part number, a link to the web page, the manufacturer number, when it would be ready at the supplier, which will soon be changed to that supply chain visibility date. So it'll be an EDA in the next couple of weeks, so that it doesn't say ready in 5 days at the supplier, but actually today's Monday, you'll have it on Thursday, as well as stocking information. That's cool. Search is great, but where this gets powerful is going beyond search. Now we identify one of them and say, okay, this is the thing that I was looking for, or this has the form, fit, and function of what I was looking for. But I want to know now, what are my options for something better? How do I rationalize that? So that we give them the ability to pick some different parameters for rationalization. And now it's going to come back and say, okay, I want the fastest supply chain. Keep in mind, this is going to be changing in the near future as well. This was just the first rollout. This fastest supply chain is actually going to change to how soon do you need it? Because the best product, when we start to expose best products married up with velocity, the best product that we can get in 2 days may not be the best product that we can get in 10 days. And so we want to make sure that we're really pushing velocity so that it would be the same answer every time. But this allows us to zero in on, maybe you need it today or tomorrow. The best, your options are narrower. And so this is telling them exactly what that best option would be. And it's actually telling them that it's in stock, which distribution center, and how much we have internally. Another example of that would be a V-belt. Same thing, typing that description in, comes back and gives us a bunch of possible matches. Same thing here, they're clicking on the right match, telling it to rationalize, and it's coming back with a partner supplier. In this case, not in stock and distribution, but in stock at one of our partner suppliers and boosted based on their participation in P automation, cost availability. So where does that go from here? So when we talk about partnerships, you're out there, you make great products, you're out there selling side by side with our sellers, selling your product value with our supply chain solutions value. Where do we go from here? So the main asks are continue on the full EDI suite. That's going to give us extended capabilities around continuing to automate different elements of our supply chain with you to make it more and more efficient to service that end customer. The more efficient we are, the more value we can create for both organizations, or all three. Location stocking options. So another ask here is if we want to have greater supply chain velocity, on the next two, they kind of marry up together. We want you to pick faster. We want you to help yourself on the parts that aren't in stock in our distribution. Velocity is largely up to you, how quickly you pick an order when we send it over to you. It also is relying on us how quickly we get in there and pick it up. We're willing to make those investments in getting will call frequency up to 5 days a week with our partners where that really makes sense. If you're picking same day, if you're taking orders up until 5 p.m. and picking them that night, and we can go in the next morning and pick up, we'll make that investment in 5 day a week will call with you. It's also important VEN ready packaging. That makes you more relevant in some of those rationalization tools. One of them that you saw in there is Lift. So that's our VEN ready offering that we want our branches converting to product that comes in VEN packed ready and can be serviced directly from distribution to our actual vending machines, where the vending machine itself tells us what it needs when it's below min. We pick to a tote for that machine. The machine goes to the branch takes it, opens it up, puts it away in the machine, types in a code, and it's done. We also want you looking at location optimization. If you're a supplier that has 8, 10, 15 locations across the country, and we're will calling, say you've got 10 locations and we're will calling at every one of them twice a week, maybe we should be will calling at 4 locations 5 days a week. Same number of will calls. Let's focus on condensing that offering. That gives us way more velocity by you picking same day and us will calling 5 days a week than having it in 15 locations, you picking in 3 days and us picking up only once or twice a week. And so it's all about that velocity. We also really want to lean into replication of inventory on the East Coast and West Coast. And then we want to help you help yourself or help us as a team get more of that product into distribution. The first pathway to that, and the question was about classing rules. The classic classing rules are 10 or more stores sold in the last 4 months. And so the more you're selling and driving the frequency of sales of your product across multiple branches, the more they automatically hit those classing rules. We're also open to, and we've already engaged with our SI level 1 partners, and that will be potentially open as an expanded program beyond the rest of shared investment and potentially digital sales agreement custom suppliers. But we're looking at lowering our classing rules where our supplier partners are willing to make a financial investment in helping drive that expanded stocking and pick, pack, and ship support directly from Fastenal to our customers to make sure that we're leaning into some more of the stocking of the tail of those products that are serviced from your facilities based on branch POs today to our branches, getting more of that into distribution, and us making sure that your products have that velocity. So if you want to understand more about how those programs work, what the expectations are going into them, and potentially talking about expanding into those programs, reach out to your supplier development manager, please. And then the last thing that I want to make sure that you all know or are thinking about in all of this is we currently spend about $1.6 billion with our marketing partner suppliers. Those are our core suppliers. We're not talking about commodity spend. We're talking about branded products. To give you an idea of the opportunity out there from a rationalization standpoint, we have about $800 million in spend with local suppliers, with suppliers that are not corporate partners. So there's a huge amount of opportunity for us to drive more business in your direction. And the AI sourcing rationalization tool is the vehicle for us to be able to do that at scale and in a very efficient way, internally facing, and in the future, customer facing. So this is very, very exciting for all of us. We want to make sure that we're engaging and partnering with you so we can drive that relationship to the next level and make sure that your great products that you're out there selling side by side with us are winning from a velocity standpoint, and you're taking our internal market share, and we're out there together as a team taking the general marketplace market share. With that, thank you very much. And if there are any questions or follow-up, I'm sure there'll be a mechanic for that. Reach out to your SDM or reach out to me anytime. Thank you very much.